Alright everybody, I've been kind of working on this video for a little while. I know I was going to do this in my old boat before I traded it in for the new one, but now I'm going to start getting proactive and start working ventilation issues on the new boat. I think in one of my other videos I kind of showed how I put two vent holes in the storage area where the coolers come in. That's also where I've got the sub box for my subwoofer in there, so I needed some ventilation. And in that video I mentioned that there's all kinds of different ways you can do it. The new boat is gray and green, so I thought this would be really cool. Now it's got a white protective cover over it, but all these are, I got two different sizes, you know, the big ones for the back, and then smaller ones for up towards the front area. But all they are is shower strainers. You see your stand-up showers, man, this is it. These are only like $5. Stainless steel, they're not going to rust, and it actually looks pretty good. I was surprised. You know, some people may call me ghetto, but hey, I call it interesting and innovative. So anyway, this is what I'm using. And I'm using my old trusty hole saw. You can see it's about as close as I'm going to get. The next size up is not much different in size, but it's you know, it's about $15 more. So I'm going with this for now. And if I'm just really not satisfied, I can always go buy the other one and make the hole a little bit bigger. But you just got to make sure, if you're going to do this, you got to make sure that your hole is not going to exceed your two little mounting holes that you're going to use back here. That's what you're actually going to screw into the fiberglass with. I'll kind of go over that too. So, with this particular one here, the backside has these little notches, these little nipples on there. I don't know if you can see them. I hope you can see them in the video. There's 4 of them, and that's part of the locking in process when you're doing the shower, if you're putting this in a shower. But we don't need those on this, so we are going to grind those off. And I'll show you how I do that in just a second. Alright, here we go. So, before I get started though, I want to tell you, again, you got to get this protective surface on there. I mean, you should. Just so you don't scratch it, because this is what everybody's going to see. Now when doing this, if you've never used a grinder or anything like that before, shit gets hot. So what you're going to want to do is just kind of hit it a couple of times and then rotate it. Try not to put your fingers on it, because I burnt the piss out of it last time I did it. So just go slow, a little bit at a time, and here we go. So I'll show you how we did it. You can see it in there, it'll start getting red hot real quick. Ow, son of a bitch, see that? It's more than what you're working on. If you let it get too hot, it'll melt this plastic out here, so that's, you don't want to do that. And you should actually be wearing safety glasses, but no one's ever accused me of being all that bright, so. That'll be a funny video, me telling you not to burn yourself, and I burn my damn self. Kind of stuff that makes me drink. You can feel like the whole thing's getting hot now. That's why I do a little bit at a time, kind of give it a little chance to freaking cool off a little bit. Yeah, so you can see a little bit starting to melt. It gets hot enough where it's going to melt these things. So you just got to be careful. You know, the reason you want to do this is because it won't sit flush against the side of the boat. And again, when I get to that point, I'll point it out again. I'll show you what I was talking about. So it's just flush. You can just kind of see, kind of go around, look at it. Alright, there you go. You can see, didn't melt too bad, but just melted a little bit right there where that shit is, and that's what it looks like, nice and clean. Okay, I'm going to go back over to the other table. Alright, so here we are back to the table. Everything's grinded, it's cooled off now. So there's a couple of things you need to know before you get started. Obviously you're going to need a pencil, some rubbing alcohol to wipe off the pencil. Measuring tape, obviously get it where you want. If you're going to put more than one in there. Mine originally, the bottom is measured for 8 inches. So I've been measuring down and I just kind of centered the two of them. So you'll need a pencil, some rubbing alcohol, your hole saw and a drill. I just use a porta cable battery drill. A couple of drill bits, minus the one that's in here. I don't think I have any out here with me. What you're going to need 2 drill bits. One, obviously, that's about the same size as that, just a little bit smaller, because you're going to need to get some separate stainless steel screws, because these are just pre-threaded shit. See that? So that's not what you need. You actually need some threaded stainless steel. You grab it real quick. So these are what I use. These are stainless steel, number 10, 3/4 inch. That's all you need. It's plenty of screw. So what you do is you start a pilot hole all the way through, small, and then because this has a little nipple, you can do one of two things. You can grind these down like we did here, or you can notch it out. And what I mean by that is, it's kind of hard to explain without actually showing you. So I'll tell you what, hang on to that thought, and then when I actually get in the boat, because it's in the shop this week doing the 10-hour maintenance, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because what you want to do, countersink, that's what I'm talking about, that's what I'm thinking of. You just want to get a little bit wider of a drill bit, and just for a crotch hair, countersink that hole. So that way, those two little nipples there will sit flush inside. That way it lets everything sit flush. So when you screw it in there, there's not going to be any movement. Okay? Then you're going to need a little bit of silicone. You probably don't need it in all actuality. I like to do it just right around the edge. Create a little seal so none of the water gets in and just kind of drips in. Maybe a little retentive, being that there's going to be holes and shit in it. I don't know. I just like to use silicone. So, with that being said, I will pause here and wait for my boat to get back. And then Friday morning, today's Tuesday, Friday morning, I will start cutting holes and shit and putting this stuff in the boat. And I'll actually take the camera out there and cut it all and all that other stuff, and I'll show you how I do it. And again, there's other products that you can use. These are the ones that I used on my old boat. Those of you that didn't see it. These are black. They're plastic. They're like $3-4 bucks, I think. I got them at Lowe's or Home Depot. This particular hole saw was, I mean, dead match. So I drilled the hole, and I had to get my Dremel tool with a grinder bit and just kind of open up that hole just a little bit more, because these are the exact same size. And they just fit right in there. A couple of pilot holes, stainless steel screws, psh, bam. And these are my louvers in the other boat. The other boat had black in it, so this kind of matched real well. But you can get these at Lowe's, Home Depot, Amazon. Obviously, you're going to get them cheaper. They have these at stainless steel too. They're like 12 bucks a piece, I think. Whatever you want. I just kind of like to do things my own way. This is a little bit different. So, all right, y'all. Until I get my boat back, I'll see you later. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Now, today, I'm going to actually drill some holes for you. I'm going to make a little adjustments based off the way I normally do it, just for the interest of getting hot as shit real quick, and just so you can see what I'm doing. Mostly, I'm not gonna use the blue tape like I've talked about earlier before I start cutting some of these holes in this fiberglass. But so here's I got pretty much everything prepped, and here's what I'm going to show you. Okay, this is where I'm going to do my next hole. This is in the battery compartment. And you can see I measured everything out. It's kind of hard to see there. I measured everything from that side to that side. And that's relatively in the middle. Not exact, but pretty darn close. So my biggest measurement was I wanted the bottom of this thing to be 8 inches. Because that's what the ones are in the other case. I measured the distance of, you know, the width of this thing I'm going to put in there. The center point is 2 5/8. You can see that right there in dead center of that little circle. Now, what I'm going to do is that little drill bit in the center is going to go right there in the middle when I start cutting this out. That's how I know dead center. And, you know, obviously, you know, this is smaller than the hole. But you kind of get the gist. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off right now. I'm going to get my shop vac plugged in because I got that up here. And trust me, you'll want a vacuum. This is going to create a lot of dust. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm going to try to do this in a way where you can kind of see what I'm doing, but you're really not going to hear me. So I'm only going to talk just a little bit. Because I want to have that shop vac going. So basically what you want to do, line your drill bit here, the center of your drill bit, with that hole in the middle. Okay? Kind of like that. Then you want to try to hold your drill kind of level this way. You know, you want this to go in, you want this to start at the same time. Now once you're in there digging, it's okay to kind of go like this a little bit, kind of help it cut along, but you want to try to go in straight. So I'm going to start the shop vac and let the noise commence. My battery's going in. Okay, so we're through. What you got to remember here, you just don't want to go blasting through the other side because you got carpeting back here. So if these teeth grab that carpeting, guess what? It's just going to twist it and make a mangled friggin' mess out of it. So just kind of work your way in a little bit. Of course, make sure you have a friggin' fresh battery. So anyway, that's it. And there's the fiberglass. And that's it. You got a nice little hole in there now. And now just go get a razor blade and cut the rest of that material out from the inside nice and neat, and you got your hole. So let me go get my razor blade. I forgot to bring it up here with me, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, now get everything kind of relatively cleaned up. Got my holes here marked from when I put the plate up here. Marked my screw holes. So I'm just going to start with a 1/8 inch drill bit. This is going to be just your pilot hole. There's a little bit of carpet coming through there. Okay, now, I was talking about earlier in this video about countersinking. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you got these little raised nipples here. So you need to, if you can really see it, if I just set it up there, it's going to rock like that. Okay, so basically what I do is I take as close to build, and I didn't see what size drill bit this is. I think it's rusted off. I can't see it. But just something that's relatively close to that same size there. And just go in just a little bit. Just like that. And I know this is some scary shit drilling into a new boat, but it's really not that bad. And all this dust is going to lead me into another video. I've had some people ask me about cleaning and, you know, how I wash my stuff out. So when I'm done with this, I'll do another quick video of cleaning up everything, spraying everything out. Okay, so there you go. You can see it's nice and flush. It's not twisting anywhere. And that's it. That's how I do it. So, you can use all kinds of cleaners, you know, to get this stuff off, like the pencil marks. It's going to be covered up, so you're really not going to see it. But I use Goof Off a lot for stuff like this. But yeah, but that's it, man. That's as easy as this goes. I'm just going to do a little bit of caulking. I use this premium shit I get from Lowe's, and I'm just going to do little dabs, and I'm going to kind of move it around with my fingers. You don't need a lot. Just enough to kind of give a small protective seal around there. And this stuff, once it dries, you can, oops, kind of go back and wash off any excess that comes out. Stuff's really easy to work with. Of course, I forgot my paper towels. My wife's going to kill me wiping it on my shorts. And then I just get my screws. It's 3/4 inch stainless steel Phillips head screws. Start them in there. And just slowly work them in there. You don't want to go too fast. Tighten them down side to side. It's like you would like a tire. A little bit on one side, a little bit on the other. You're going to hear some cracking of that fiberglass. It's okay. A little bit on that side, a little bit on that side. And there you have it. That's it. I now have ventilation in this side. And then I just peel this stuff off. It's protective covering. I like to leave a little white in there in the middle. Looks kind of cool, but you know, to each his own, I guess. Okay, so there you have it. Ventilation problem solved. Only took a couple minutes, and that's it, man. So there you go. That's a kind of a step-by-step on how to put some ventilation stuff. Obviously, you know, different applications are going to cause for different procedures, but this is what I do it, how I do it. This is going to be the same step for the same process for those black ones that I showed you. The plast one, you just slip them in there and then screw them in. So, you know, I hope this helps somebody. I'm going to go through the rest of the boat. I'm going to put them up in the front compartments. So I've got ventilation up there. You know, for all like my life jackets and shit like that, and if nothing else, just general ventilation for the rest of the boat. I will tell you this: for those of you that don't have, and I'm gonna dime out my neighbor, and I'm sure he's gonna chime in on this one since it hits YouTube. In my old boat, I used to take the seat covers off when the boat was covered. Allowed everything to breathe in there and stuff like that. Well, the seats in the 2016s, and I think it's all the way up till, I think like 13s or 14s is when they start putting the hinges on the seats. These things right there, you know, so you can't just take them off. Up front, he put his front seats up and then covered the boat. So that way he could get maximum ventilation out of there. Well, here's what we learned, or here's what he learned and he taught me. That seat stands up like that. It's kind of at an angle, but when you put that boat cover on and cinch it down, it kind of bends that seat backwards a little bit. Well, these things have this marine board on the back of the plastic shit. Well, when it gets warm, it gets pliable. So now his seats are kind of bent permanently. So when he lays them down, there's a little bow in them. So any of you guys that do that, don't do that. Prop them up with something, not all the way up. You know, maybe put a life jacket in it so it's up in, you know, it's open about 3-4 inches maybe. I don't know. Or you can do this, but do not put your seats up and then cover it. You know, I used to leave my engine compartment up when it was covered up. So, but yeah, that's a lesson for all of us boaters out there. I never thought about that until you showed me. So, okay, that concludes this video, everybody. So, I hope everybody has a good idea on how to do this, cutting in some ventilation. I did ask the dealer here, it's real quick, sidetrack again. The dealer said that they would install some sorts of ventilation. It's going to be about $1,200 or $1,300. Nope, ain't going to do that crap when this was like 30 or 40 bucks and a little bit of my sweat and time. So, okay, that's it for this video, guys. And I will post another video soon on cleaning everything out. Washing it down on the inside, the engine compartment, stuff like that. Evidently that's blowing some people's minds. So until next time, have a good one.